Every civilization leaves a story behind. But some stories don't just change history, they change what the world believes. Ancient Egypt tells one such story, where the breaking of a family changed the meaning of life, death, and justice forever. If someone you love suffers a terrible injustice, would fighting for them be nothing more than revenge? Or could that be where justice begins? This is not the story of the king who was murdered. This is the story of the woman who refused to accept even death as the end. Her name was Isis. Our story begins with the earth and the sky. According to ancient Egyptian belief, Nut, goddess of the sky, and Geb, god of the earth, became the parents of 4 divine children. The first to be born was Osiris, god of life, prosperity, and justice. Then came Isis, goddess of magic, healing, motherhood, and protection. Then came Set, god of the desert, storms, and chaos. And finally came Nephthys, goddess of mourning, protector of the dead, and guardian of funerary rites. 4 siblings whose intertwined destinies would eventually become one of the greatest stories the ancient world would ever tell. As time passed, tradition placed the eldest, Osiris, upon the throne as the new ruler of Egypt, and Isis became his queen. The world of the gods did not follow the laws of humankind, and so, despite being brother and sister, Osiris and Isis became husband and wife, and together they ruled Egypt. Under Osiris, the people learned to cultivate the land, laws were established, and order began to take shape, and Egypt began to prosper like never before. While Isis cared for the wounded, the sick, and those in need. But the more the people came to love Osiris, the darker the silence grew within Set. He began to believe that the throne which should have been his had been taken by his own brother. But jealousy is rarely born in a single moment. It grows slowly until it changes someone completely.
This celebration is wonderful, isn't it?
It truly
And
is.
then, one day, Set arranged a magnificent feast for the entire kingdom. No one knew that this celebration was about to become one of the greatest betrayals in Egypt's history. The entire palace was filled with lights, music, and guests. Set appeared happier than ever, and no one suspected him for even a moment. Not even Osiris, because trust is often strongest where betrayal is least expected. A short while later, Set had a magnificent chest brought before the guests. It was so beautiful that every eye in the hall was drawn to it. Set smiled and announced, "This gift will belong to whoever fits inside it perfectly." One by one, the guests tried, but the chest seemed to fit no one. Then all eyes turned to Osiris, and without the slightest suspicion, he smiled and lay down inside the chest. And then, within moments, the chest was sealed shut with iron nails. This was no game. This was a plot set in motion long ago. Soon after, the chest was cast into the waters of the Nile, meant to disappear forever. The night passed, but Osiris never returned. Isis waited. Days passed, yet there was no trace of Egypt's most powerful ruler. Then Set appeared before the royal court and declared, "Osiris is no longer of this world." Egypt now needs a new ruler. But Isis refused to lose hope. She knew this was not the end. And so Isis searched across all of Egypt. After days of searching, Isis discovered that Osiris's chest had traveled far beyond Egypt, all the way to Byblos. There, a great tree growing near the shore had engulfed the chest within its trunk. Later, that very tree was cut down, and turned into a massive pillar inside the royal palace. Hiding her true identity, Isis made her way into the palace. But for a mysterious stranger, finding a place within the royal palace was not so easy. With her gentle nature and divine presence, she gradually earned the queen's trust. Before long, the queen entrusted Isis with the care of her young prince. It is said that every night, Isis used her divine powers in an attempt to make the child immortal. But one night, the queen witnessed the ritual. Terrified by what she saw, she screamed, and the ritual remained unfinished. Then, Isis revealed her true divine form. The king and queen bowed before her. Isis asked them for only one thing, that massive pillar within the palace. As the pillar was cut open, the chest of Osiris, hidden within it for years, was finally revealed. At last, Isis had brought him back, but she knew the danger was far from over. And so, she hid the chest in a place where she believed no one would ever find it. But fate had other plans. One night, while out hunting, Set arrived at that very place. Driven by curiosity, he opened the chest, and the moment he saw Osiris's body, his rage burned stronger than ever. He realized that the one he thought he had erased forever had somehow returned. He tore Osiris's body into pieces and scattered them across different parts of Egypt. He believed that now no one could ever bring Osiris back. But Set had forgotten one thing. He had defeated Osiris, not Isis. When Isis returned, everything had changed. Osiris had been taken from her once again, but she refused to give up. Once again, she set out to find her husband. Days turned into months, and finally, Isis found the scattered pieces one by one. But Isis was not alone. Her sister, Nephthys, stood beside her. Anubis carefully preserved the body of Osiris, and this is believed to be the beginning of the tradition of mummification. Then, Isis began chanting the ancient spells she had learned from Thoth. It is said that she took the form of a sacred bird and began circling above Osiris. Every breath of wind from her wings seemed to breathe life back into him. And then a miracle happened. For a few brief moments, Osiris came back to life. He had returned, but only for a few moments, just long enough to give Isis an heir. Isis had lost her husband for the second time, but this time Osiris was not simply dead. He had become the king of a realm from which no one ever returns. In time, Isis gave birth to a son. His name was Horus. Isis knew that if Set discovered the child, he would never allow his nephew to live, just as he had shown no mercy to his own brother. And so, she raised Horus in hiding, far from the eyes of the world, among marshes, forests, and forgotten places. Years passed, and the child Isis had once hidden in her arms had now become the rightful heir to his father's throne. But the battle ahead would not be fought with swords alone. Sometimes before the council of the gods, and sometimes on the battlefield, Horus and Set faced each other for years. Time and again, Set tried to win through deception, but every time, Horus rose again. At last, the gods delivered their judgment. The throne of Osiris belonged to the one who held the rightful claim by birth, and that right belonged to Horus. After years of struggle, the conflict was finally over. The throne that had once torn a family apart had finally returned to its rightful heir. Osiris had become the king of the realm of the dead, and Horus the ruler of the world of the living. But if there was one who never broke throughout this entire story, it was Isis. Even thousands of years later, Isis is remembered not merely as the goddess of magic, but as a symbol of unwavering love and the refusal to ever give up. Was everything Isis did only for the man she loved? Or was she fighting to ensure that injustice would never become an inheritance? What do you think? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.